What's going on, guys? Welcome to another edition of Gear Breaker Nation, where we give excellent assessment and reviews. And in this video, we're going to be definitely talking about Supergirl, Season 1, Episode 5, How Does She Do It? Now, the episode starts off with Supergirl sitting here flying through the air, and it's all peaceful and calm, and she's enjoying herself and having a good day. And I think that's pretty cool, because it shows that the job can be a bit laid back at times. And then this drone ends up showing out of nowhere, and she spots it. So she goes chasing after it, and after having a little difficulty trying to catch it because of how it maneuvers and everything, she managed to bring it down. Thought that was alright. I didn't like how it was like outmaneuvering. I'm like, you're Supergirl, you got super speed and everything, just super speed catching. Anyway, she takes the drone back to the DEO headquarters, and with Alex and Hank's help, they end up finding out that that the drone is from one of the subsidiaries of, Maxwell Lord's institution or whatever. So I was like, okay, that's kind of interesting. By this time, Supergirl ends up coming back to going to work, and then you see Kat here, and it's pretty cool because Kat has won this award. Okay, one thing I did like about the fact that when she won the award, she made a reference to Lois Lane and how she beat her in getting that award. I was like, okay, that's another good Superman reference, so sweet. But she says that she's not going to go because she doesn't have anybody to watch her son. So of course, Kara, the do-gooder that she is, ends up volunteering for the job. I was like, okay, that's all right, fine. It's kind of unnecessary, but all right, fine. Okay, next scene, you got Lucy Lane and Jimmy Olsen. They're sitting at this restaurant, and they're sitting here talking, and of course, Kara shows up, making it very uncomfortable, and then Lucy expresses interest in getting back with Jimmy, and I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. Again, fleshing out a different little romantic aspect of the season. So things get even more uncomfortable, and then the two split, and then Jimmy ends up talking to Kara about the situation with Lucy, and next you know, this explosion rocks the building, and then you come to find out that there was a bomb that was set off in the building a few blocks away. So of course, Kara does a Supergirl thing, flies over there, holds the building up, and then does little laser eyes to kind of seal up the cracking beams. And she saved the day. And of course, there's another drone sitting there watching her. So it's like, okay, who in the hell is, what is up with all of these drones and things? And then you end up finding out that that the bomb, from the bomb fragments, they found out that it's part of the Maxwell Lord's Industries thing too. So it's like, okay, is it somebody that's within his organization, or is it him, setting up for some kind of grand scheme now? And again, it kind of feels like this maybe Maxwell Lord might be Supergirl's version of Lex Luthor. So there is that. Supergirl is with the DEO, and then Kate ends up calling about, did Kara go pick up the son? So Kara's like super speed flying through the air to go try to pick up her son, and she like falls and lands. She like flies into this bush, and then like a second later comes out with her regular clothes, which I thought was funny I don't know why I thought it was funny, but it was. But okay, you then got Hank and Alex. They're going to Maxwell Lord's place, and they're sitting here, and they're in, I guess you could say, questioning him and everything. And he comes off as a smug smart ass that knows everything. It's like, damn, dude, you're just such a douchebag. But okay, so Hank, leaves Alex to protect him because he thinks that, Hank's, that Maxwell's life might be in danger. Anyway, so by this time, Kara and Carter, Kat's son, are back at the job and everything, and they're chilling. And he ends up finding out that Carter really loves Supergirl. He's a huge fan and everything. And then Wynn shows up, and he says he's a huge fan of hers too. And it's kind of cool because once again, you kind of see him throwing out subtly that he likes Supergirl. Because it was kind of funny. He was like, "Well, I know Supergirl," and then Kara like looks at him, and he said, "I feel like I thought that was pretty funny too." But I thought it was kind of a pretty good way to kind of slick it in and everything. But of course, Kara does not give two craps about Wynn, even in the slightest. So she totally missed it. But Jimmy ends up having to take over Kat's responsibilities, and of course, Kara goes there, has some inspirational talk about what's going on. They have a moment where Jimmy starts to talk about Lucy, and then Kara like switches the subject. And, it was really blunt how she did it. But that's because I believe Alex ended up coming back and telling her that if a dude that you like starts talking about his ex or some other girl, then he's going to be in the friend zone. So she hurried up and made sure that she wasn't going to be in the friend zone. So they had this little moment there, and I thought that was all right. I was like, okay, it's like that instantaneous attraction thing that's going on between these two characters. It's like, fine, that's all right, that's sweet. Okay, we got the scene switches over to Alex, who's with Maxwell Lord, and they're talking. You can tell he's being there. Both of them got their guard up, and they're coming up with these pretty witty comments. And of course, Maxwell's sitting there shooting that game. There's some mutual attraction between these two characters, especially the way Alex looks. Which Alex is pretty hot. She really is, and he does got that suave, rich guy, cool guy look about him. But it's kind of like with small hints of bad boy. So it's like, okay, pretty cool. So they two had their little exchange, and I thought that was pretty cool. And you get to learn a little bit more about his character. And they end up discovering a bomb up in the facility. So of course he evacuates everybody out there, and then him and Alex both of them try to disarm the bomb, and they can't do it. If they end up because of the efforts, it kind of speeds up the timing. So of course Alex calls Kara asks Wynn to watch over Carter, and then Supergirl just flies over there, takes the bomb out of the city, which I kind of thought was weird why she just didn't go up. But she just flew through the set. I thought she should have went up. So of course, Hank says go up, and she manages to go up above the water when it explodes and it knocks her unconscious. So she falls into the water, and she wakes up at the DEO. Now, one thing that was really interesting about this is why she was kind of like dazed and confused, because she's in this machine that's emitting like sunlight, artificial sunlight, to help heal her. When she looks at Hank, he turns around, his eyes are red, and then he turns back around, but she's kind of disoriented and everything, so she goes back to sleep, or goes back unconscious. And then she wakes up, and there is that. Like she got killed, almost got killed from that, which I thought was like, I've seen Superman take bigger hits than that, but I wouldn't say he would have got killed. I would have said he would have almost would have got knocked unconscious and not got killed. But hey, it is what it is. While getting food for Carter, Kara ends up bumping into Lucy, and they end up talking, and Lucy actually breaks down why she broke up with Jimmy. And through Jimmy's eyes, he said he thinks that's because of her career. She put her career over him. But Lucy explains that it was actually Jimmy's devotion to Superman that became a problem in a relationship, and it was coming too much, so she broke it off with him, because it was like he cannot solely focus on her. It was always, running off to help Superman, and Superman this and Superman that, so that's why she broke it off. And you can say there's a little bonding moment between Lucy and Kara, and you can tell Kara's obviously not comfortable with the situation, because if Jimmy didn't throw her in the friend zone, Lucy straight up just pushed her straight up in there. So it was like, bam. So then we go back to Maxwell Lord and Alice, and they're talking, and he actually gives exposition due to his parents' death due to the government agency that was working for it and their faulty regulations and all of that stuff. So, okay, you kind of get the sense where this guy's head is from. He seems like he's a manipulator, so you can't really tell if he's actually, telling the truth or not. But if it is, it does give a lot of exposition to his character. So there is that. You got Jimmy and you got Lucy, and they're talking, and Lucy's like, okay, look, I want to be with you again. I'm going to try this again. That's where I'm staying. That's why I came. And, Jimmy you can tell Jimmy's still feeling her, but he rejects her. And she's like, okay, well, see, if we can't work out, then I'll just go ahead and leave. Supergirl ends up going to this new train exhibit, which has been, shown throughout the series, the last few episodes, that Maxwell Lord was working on as a faster mode of transportation. So the exhibit and the train and everything finally is being unveiled, and she's going there to, stop another possible bombing, which the DEO ends up finding out there was a former employee that's behind these attacks. So what happened is, Wynn went to go get some pizza, and while he went to go get some pizza because he was watching Carter kind of sneaks off to go to the train exhibit to see Supergirl. Now this I didn't like because it's like, what kid would actually do that? You know, what kid would put themselves in that position to actually do this? This seems like a forced. This part seemed forced to me. I didn't really like this because it's like we just have to have him there some kind of way, and it could have been a better way to do it, but it just fit so forced since he just up and left, and then nobody knew who the hell this kid was, and nobody said anything. So I really didn't like that. Jimmy ends up getting hold of information that there's a bomb has been found at the airport that Lucy's going to. So you know, that he runs to go off to go try to save her before, you know, she could possibly die and leave things the way they were. And Supergirl ends up getting a hold of this information too, so she's going there. But then she ends up getting a hold that the guy that they had found out was responsible for the bombings or whatever is at the train station, because Wynn sees the guy. So it's like Supergirl goes back to the train station. I kind of like this because it was like one instance where Jimmy was going to the airport, and Supergirl was like, you know, they passed each other. So I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. So of course Carter ends up getting on the train. Wynn can't get there to save him. So Supergirl goes to try to catch the train, and the guy is there that's about to blow the train up. So she goes into the train and she talks this real inspirational speech to Carter about being a hero. Did he want to be a hero, and she needed his help and stuff. And again, I feel like this part was completely forced into the plot. Because it's like, you know, she aimed specifically for him, and it's relevant, which I will tell you later on. So she ends up confronting the former employee. He ends up saying that he has no choice but to do this. Not because he wants to do this, he has no choice. And you can kind of see that this guy is being forced to do it. So she ends up disconnecting the rest of the train from like the head of it, where he's at. So he detonates the explosion. And she stops the back half of the train, and then he just blows up. And you can see that she's very remorseful for it because she couldn't save this guy, but she did manage to save all the other passengers. And of course, at the airport, Alex and Hank are there because, you know, Jimmy found Lucy at this point, and they like made up, and it's like and all that stuff. So they made up or whatever. And so Hank and Alex decide to go check out the bomb. They go check out the bomb, find out that they're not able to disarm it. So what Hank does is send Alex away. And when he sends her away, he does this, his eyes start glowing red, and he does some kind of unique kind of power to disarm the bomb. Because he like opened it up, and I don't know if he drained it or if he like, I don't know what he did to the bomb, the contents inside the bomb. But the next scene, everybody thinks it's going to explode, and then Hank just comes out with the bomb. He just tells him, hey, it was a dud. Supergirl comes to the conclusion that through all of these attacks, and through for what the guy said on the train before he blew himself up, she comes to the conclusion that Maxwell Lord is responsible. So she goes to confront this douchebag, and he pretty much confirms her suspicions. You know, I love the way he the way he said it. He was like, if somebody were to sit here and do these things, it was like they would use the drones to test your abilities. They would use it to test your abilities. He was like, you know, one of the drones checked out how fast you were. The bombing tested how strong you were. The one that blew the building up. The other bomb that she got hit tested how durable she was. And the train incident tested like what she would do, and she went specifically for the train rather than the airport, because he was like, okay, a couple of people would have died on the train, but thousands of people would have died at the airport. When I said that part where I said that it was relevant about her specifically talking to Carter on the train, Maxwell Lord brings that back up. He said, you went specifically to the train to save a certain person. That was important. So that's why I'm like, okay, they tied that in with him with her going to the train and him saying that to try to figure out more about her. So it was like there is that, and it was like he was, you know, in so many words, he was sitting here explaining that he was responsible. So she was like, you know, I'm watching you and everything. The way it came down to his wording was they was trying to test how strong she was and how capable she was, and also kind of try to figure out who she was. So it was like, you know, I like the way he said it. And it was like he was so smooth with it. I was like, okay, corporate douchebag, number one, Lex Luthor, copycat. That's Maxwell Lord. So, after all of this, Cat comes back. I was so surprised that Supergirl, that Kara did not get fired because Cat was mad at her. But I would actually blame Carter too, because what kid just then runs off to go see Supergirl at the train station like that? That again, I didn't really like that part. But hey, okay, guys, that is it for my review of Supergirl season 1, episode 5. How does she do it? And I did forget to mention the how does she do it part is how does references how Cat Grant does being the corporate of the company, the CEO of the company, being a mother. Anyways, guys, that's it for my review for Supergirl season 1, episode 5. How does she do it? I love the episode. I thought it was alright. I would rate it easily like a 3 out of 5. It wasn't like it wasn't like a waste or anything, because now you kind of see more about Maxwell Lord's character and a bit more on Cat's character as usual. But hey, what did y'all think about the episode? Comment section below, let me know. And to the next edition of Gearbreaker Nation, keep those gears turning.